On our third dating anniversary, Adrian gave me a 99-cent ring, then bought a female classmate an apartment. I didn't take the ring. He accused me of being a gold digger. Buying Serena a condo was just helping a friend. Why fuss over that? My family owns 10 waterfront mansions. Pick whichever one you want. Would I ever leave you homeless? I plan to surprise you with a 10-carat proposal the second you accepted that ring. You've disappointed me. I broke up with him on the spot. He spun around and confessed to his classmate that same night. 5 years later, we met again at an exclusive cocktail party at Riverdale Private Bank. He was now a rising tech star, Serena draped on his arm in haute couture that dazzled under the chandeliers. Seeing me on my knees beneath a banquet table, hair wild and blouse streaked with grease stains, he wrinkled his nose. Lila, you turned up your nose at a 99-cent ring, and now you're scavenging scraps off the floor. This is the dignity you wanted? No matter how pathetic you act, I won't feel sorry enough to take you back. I ignored him. Mason had been doing a rehearsal of his keynote. Chloe had lost the guardian locket she'd worn since birth. My daughter was wailing, so I had to find it fast. The ballroom lights brightened as Adrian escorted Serena inside. Tailored suiting emphasized every confident line of him. Every gesture announced he belonged to the city's elite. Guests quickly recognized him and crowded in, fawning. President Vance, so accomplished. Only 5 years and you're on Riverdale Bank's guest list. Rumor says the legend himself will speak tonight. You're here to learn, right? Adrian dipped his head. Everyone understood. Most attendees were here for the slim chance of exchanging a word with the man who controlled half the city's capital. His first appearance at the gala in 5 years. Someone turned to Serena, smiling ingratiatingly. Mrs. Vance? Truly as brilliant and beautiful as they say. Serena tightened her grip on Adrian's arm. We're not married yet, but soon. Aren't we, Adrian? Adrian's smile froze. He recovered with practiced perfection. Right. I kept her waiting while I built the company. Once we set the date, you'll all receive invitations. Congratulations echoed around them. I stood frozen. They still weren't married? 5 years ago, Adrian had confessed to Serena the night we split, and 3 days later their Instagram officialdom flooded every feed. He'd pined for Serena for ages. Why would work postpone marriage, especially with Arthur begging for grandkids? Lost in thought, I didn't notice the busboy approaching with a dark scowl. Ma'am, this is a private function. Not just anyone can walk in. His gaze raked over my oil-smeared dress, voice dripping sarcasm. If you're hungry, the kitchen has leftovers. The floor here is spotless, you won't find food. Only then did I realize that after lunchtime with Chloe I was a mess, exactly the kind of scene he assumed. You've got it wrong, I said quietly. I'm an invited guest. I lost something during rehearsal. Ma'am, the busboy slammed his palm on the table. A vagrant like you could never be on our guest list. Leave now, or I'll call security. His shout drew stares. Adrian glanced over. The instant our eyes met, his pupils contracted. Lila. The busboy switched to an oily smile. Casey, she with you? Adrian's expression cooled, dismissive. No. My father wasted a scholarship grant on her. I've seen her around. He looked away, revulsion identical to the night he'd told me to get lost years ago. The busboy's tone snapped back to harsh as he grabbed my arm. Scram. I've met leeches like you. Helped once, you cling forever. I twisted free, anger simmering. I told you I'm an invited guest. I'll leave once I find what I dropped. He snickered. Rehearsal? Big joke. You know who's rehearsing? Even our ma can't get close. Security is airtight. A tramp like you thinks she lost something here? Spare me. Details of an event this exclusive are beyond your comprehension. He reached for me again. Enough. Adrian strode back, face like frost. What do you want? Name the price so you'll leave. Don't tell me you're here for me. I made myself crystal clear 5 years ago. I feel nothing for you. Serena laced her fingers through his, voice honeyed. Lila, we're getting married. I get that breakups hurt, but love can't be forced. Wish us happiness, okay? I smiled politely. Congratulations in advance. Then I knelt and resumed searching for Chloe's locket. What will it take for you to disappear? Still bitter about the condo I gave Serena? Fine, 200 grand right now. Take it and vanish. He scrolled on his phone, contemptuous. Serena is the woman I love. Those 3 years with you were a distraction. This money can buy you a fresh start, find some decent guy and stop stalking me. His thumb froze. Your account's frozen? You're a delinquent debtor? Understanding dawned. He was trying to Venmo the old scholarship account. Since the wedding I'd used Mason's black card. Of course that old one was inactive. Yet his opinion of me hadn't changed, gold digger, beggar, now deadbeat. I don't want your money. My tone stayed flat, explanations felt pointless. Adrian's face darkened. You're homeless and still pretending to be proud. I frowned. We split 5 years ago. Basically strangers now. Even if I were homeless, how's that your business? I emphasized again. Seriously, don't send anything. I don't need it. If Mason ever spotted a random transfer on my statement, he'd dissect every line of that ledger. The last thing I needed was him uncorking 5-year-old jealousy. Adrian fell silent for a moment, then arched an eyebrow. Lila, I think you've misunderstood. I was simply doing a little charity. Relax. Someone who looks like you doesn't even register on my radar. His gaze lingered on my tangled hair and grease-stained clothes, and his voice suddenly softened. The breakup back then really was abrupt. The fact that you've ended up like this, I bear some responsibility. By refusing the money, are you hoping to make me feel guilty forever? Serena immediately threaded her arm through his and cooed. Adrian, she is a finance graduate after all. This industry may prize pedigree, but landing a job that keeps food on the table can't be that hard, right? She's in this mess because she's poor, lazy, and has no drive. Back then she could have joined the work-study program, yet she happily took Arthur's scholarship grant without a second thought. Serena, I cut her off coldly. I repaid that grant, principal and interest, long ago. Watch your mouth. Serena turned to Adrian with a practiced pout. Adrian, see? She's always had an overblown pride. In her eyes, your kindness is nothing but charity. Let's not waste any more time on her. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. I couldn't be bothered to argue further and resumed searching for my guardian locket. A flash of gold glinted beneath the table. I exhaled in relief and reached for it. Suddenly Adrian's fingers clamped around my wrist, yanking me up roughly. Lila, you turned up your nose at a 99-cent ring, and now you're scavenging scraps off the floor. This is the dignity you wanted? Let me make it crystal clear. No matter how pathetic you act, I will never take you back. I was stunned. 5 years. And he still clung to the delusion that our breakup hinged on that knockoff ring from some bargain app? Back then Serena had been the unattainable moon in his sky. After her 99th rejection, he drank himself into a stupor day after day. Arthur asked me to keep an eye on him. To repay the Vance scholarship, I stayed and pulled him through. Later, we simply drifted together. But the instant Serena split with her boyfriend, his warmth toward me turned to frost. On our 3rd anniversary, he presented me with a 99-cent ring. Wasn't that his way of telling me to leave? Pathetically, I still couldn't let go. Only when Serena's message arrived did I finally give up. Did he really have no clue? I looked calmly at the hand still manacling my wrist. Adrian, I'm doing just fine. I've never considered coming back to you. I tried to tug free. He tightened his grip. You told me to vanish from your life forever. I've honored that. His eyes narrowed dangerously. To obliterate any lingering doubt, I spelled it out. I'm married. My husband has a temper. If he saw you holding me like this. Before I could finish, Adrian released me as if burned, his face contorting. You dared marry someone behind my back. Adrian's brows knitted, his stare slicing through me. Where is this Mason of yours? What sort of man lets his wife sink to this state? Without waiting for an answer, he let out a cold laugh. Lying to me? Lila, do you really think a fake husband will rile me up? Spare the effort. Even if you told me you had a kid, I wouldn't bat an eye. I knew better than to expect otherwise. The only one he ever cared about was Serena. Yet he had been the one to confess to me first. I kept asking that day, Are you truly over Serena? Only when he swore long forgotten, did I nod yes. How had I become the desperate clinger in his retelling? The thought amused me, I shrugged. Think what you like. Serena pinched her nose and stepped back. Adrian, it reeks in here. Let's go. She obviously doesn't want help. But Adrian's gaze stayed welded to me unmoving. Serena shot me an annoyed glare. Pride before a fall. Fine, we're about to meet a VIP and we're short a gopher. Pour tea, pass napkins, and I'll hand you 50 grand. That should finance an entire year for someone like you, right? Adrian finally reacted. Lila, you're too stubborn. You won't take outright cash, but surely you'd accept honest pay for honest work. I almost laughed in their faces. Do you two have nothing better to do? I'm leaving. Please. I had canceled 3 7-figure consulting contracts to accompany Mason and Chloe to Riverdale. I was supposed to care about 50,000. My refusal darkened Adrian's face, and even Serena let out a derisive click of her tongue. Around us the gossip rose. Casey, she's poor and pig-headed. You'd let her near that VIP. I say drop it. If she offends him, our whole day is shot. The busboy panicked and waved security over. Escort her out. The reception starts any minute. The VIP in the VIP lounge could walk in here at once. He glowered at me. Tonight's guest list is Riverdale's creme de la creme. The sterling patriarch from Kingshaven even flew in with his wife and child. An event of this caliber is a first for our industry. On a normal day I'd pretend I didn't see you begging, but not today. Your presence will trash the bank's global reputation. I'm just a busboy, I can't bear that blame. Please just leave. Security moved to seize my arms, I wrenched free. I'll walk myself. The whole room exhaled in relief as I headed for the door. Wait! Adrian's sharp command cracked behind me. His eyes were riveted to the guardian locket in my palm, his own hands trembling at his sides. Lila, his voice came out ragged. When will you understand? I stopped needing childish talismans ages ago. I stared at the little gold lock, memories flooding back. That year Adrian had crashed after Serena rejected him again. When the Vance family began funding my tuition, Arthur, eyes bloodshot, begged me. The boy's drinking and drag racing. His mother and I are at our wits' end. I took it to heart. I shadowed him day and night, the tag-along he couldn't shake. Once, he totaled his car street racing at 2 a.m., yet shielded my head at the last second. He lay in a coma for 7 days with severe head trauma. After the third critical notice, I spent every dollar I had, climbed St. Joseph's Chapel on my knees, and bought a blessed guardian locket. The day he woke, he fingered the clasp and sobbed. Lila, have I been a total bastard? After that, he straightened out. He never mentioned Serena again. All these years I'd nearly forgotten, until tonight. Serena suddenly covered her lips and gave a delicate laugh. Adrian tossed that guardian locket ages ago. You don't seriously think a cheap trick like that could still move him, do you? Back then he only pitied you, he was playing along. And you actually believed it and still remember it now. Adrian flicked me a cool glance. Lila, Serena and I have set the wedding date. Don't waste your energy. I couldn't be bothered to argue. I was smoothing my hair, about to head back to the VIP lounge, when a sharp pain shot through my earlobe. The busboy had ripped my Cartier stud clean out. Top-grade jewelry worth $10 million? Yours. He turned the earring over in disgust. Did you steal it? There. My earrings. I bit the words out, fury blazing. Serena laughed like she was enjoying a comedy, then signaled the server to return the stud. If you claim they're yours, why not prove it? I gave her a glacial look. Fine. Shall I invite my husband out of the VIP lounge to testify? After all, this is just a trinket he tossed my way. The instant the words left my mouth, the room erupted in scornful laughter. Only Mason is resting in the VIP lounge. This woman must have lost her mind. The banquet ma who'd hurried over snatched the earring. Take this to the front desk for safekeeping and check every guest for lost property. Now. She whirled and snapped at security. Call the police. The next second Adrian cut in. Give me face, let it go. Serena chimed in at once, gazing at me with fake pity. I'm a practicing attorney. Theft of this value earns at least 10 years. Everyone saw it. Her mind seems unstable. Maybe it was just a mistake. Then call the police. I cut her off. Lawyer Vance should know. False accusation carries the same penalty. Ma hardened at my words. She motioned for security to restrain me and dialed 911. Just then a 3-year-old girl carved from powdered jade stumbled through the crowd. I knelt to clasp the guardian locket around her neck, but Serena slapped it away. Lila, have you lost it? Trying to kidnap a child in front of all these people. Terrified, the little girl burst into tears and reached for me. Mommy's scared. Serena swept her up, cooing with false tenderness. Sweetie, she's a bad woman, not your mommy. Auntie will take you to find your real mommy. Chloe writhed in her arms, shrieking until her voice cracked. Want mommy? Want mommy? My heart tore as I stared at Chloe's crimson, tear-soaked face. Let go of my Chloe. I struggled frantically, but security pinned me in an iron grip. Mockery rippled around us. Lunatic. Claims any kid is Chloe. Lock her up. A psycho like that on the loose? Next she'll kill someone. Chloe's tiny hands strained toward me, her sobs hoarse. Mommy! Mommy! I swallowed the agony and soothed her gently. Baby, don't be scared. Mommy's just playing cops and robbers with these uncles. Mommy's fine. As my fingertips almost brushed hers, security wrenched my arms behind my back. Adrian exhaled sharply, yanked me from security's grasp. I'll handle this. Wait outside. He dragged me toward the exit, grip brutal. Let go. Adrian, that's my own Chloe. And I didn't steal, don't make me hate you. I kept glancing back. Chloe had cried herself limp, her small face blue from breathlessness. Adrian ignored me, hauling me on. Bang! The VIP lounge door swung open. A tall silhouette stepped into the light, beige bespoke suit skimming broad shoulders and a narrow waist, every inch born to command. Mason! The room snapped to attention. Meeting those deep eyes, my own blurred with tears. Mason! Chloe whimpered and stretched her arms. Daddy, up! Adrian froze as if struck by lightning. You're Mason? Head of the Sterling family. He barked out a laugh. Lila, still dreaming? The Sterlings would marry a penniless scholarship girl with nothing to her name but pride. Mason's arctic gaze swept over him. Adrian rushed to explain. Mr. Sterling, she's my ex. She cracked after our breakup and offended you. Before he could finish, Mason closed the distance and pulled me into his arms. Grease stains from my dress smeared his beige jacket. My grimy hands left smudges on his shirt. He didn't care, only tightened his hold. Serena jerked away from Chloe as though electrocuted. At one glance from Mason, Nanny stepped in and lifted the child. Chloe squirmed on Nanny's shoulder, searching for me, but under Mason's stern look she pouted. Mean daddy. Adrian's hand, reaching for mine, hung midair, his face drained of color. Mr. Sterling, she's really your wife. Mason eyed him coldly. Want me to slap the marriage certificate across your face? Adrian staggered back, eyes bloodshot. Lila, I searched 5 whole years, and you dared marry behind my back. Because of that 99-cent ring? I only wanted to be sure you weren't after my money. The second you took it, I was going to propose. But you, 2 words, it's over. Then vanished without a trace. I'd had enough. It's ancient history. I was poor, never wanted your family's cash. You know damn well why we broke up. You jumped at Serena's text. Now you blame me for disappearing. Adrian's face turned ashen. What text? When did I ever agree? I went 3 days without food or sleep looking for you. Spare me the devotion. I cut in. The night we split, you posted couple photos with Serena. Think I didn't see? He blinked, then laughed low. I did it to make you jealous, to force you out. The Instagram posts, the engagement, all bait. He'd flaunted an old crush just to smoke me out? I laughed in disbelief and shook my head. Whatever. It's over. I have my family now, you're getting married, time to move on. Adrian's lips twisted bitterly. Lila, I can't. Casey. Mason's voice sliced in, arctic and sharp. I dislike men who covet my wife. With that he brushed a light kiss across my lips, then murmured against my ear for only me to hear. We'll settle this tonight in detail. I instinctively shrank my neck. Judging by his tone, tonight he was going to punish me in every creative way imaginable. It was all Adrian's fault for insisting on dragging up ancient history in front of Mason. But Mason only smoothed the crumpled collar of my blouse with sudden tenderness, sighing in fond exasperation. The guardian locket is gone? Let my assistant look for it. You vanished from my sight for 5 minutes and managed to land in this mess. Why didn't you drop my name? Is being Mrs. Sterling something to be ashamed of? His gaze lifted, sweeping the room, and his voice turned razor cold. Or, has the Sterling family of Kingshaven fallen so far that anyone can bully the lady of the house? His tone was quiet, yet the grand ballroom froze, the air crystallizing into ice. Heat flooded my chest, my eyes stung. I just didn't want our marriage public. I didn't want special treatment. I only wanted to be an ordinary person. Mason exhaled softly and brushed away my tears with the pad of his thumb. Honey, I was too harsh. Don't cry. But the tears wouldn't stop, so he kept murmuring comforts while he wiped them away. Then the crowd began to stir. Guests exchanged glances before turning their fire on Ma. What kind of top-tier gala is this? The service staff is a disgrace. Mrs. Sterling dresses a little simply, and they treat her like a vagrant? She clearly said she was looking for her child's guardian locket, and you people tried to throw her out. Beads of sweat dotted Ma's forehead as he stepped forward, trembling. Mr. Sterling, it's a misunderstanding. We thought this lady. Thought my wife was a thief. Mason's eyes narrowed dangerously. You plastered her high-resolution photo on the lost and found notice, and labeled her a thief by name. If I hadn't arrived, were you actually going to march her to the precinct? Ma hung his head, cold sweat dripping. We were only being cautious. We've never seen Mrs. Sterling, so we... Crash! Mason suddenly kicked over a side table. The metallic bang made everyone flinch. Wrong is wrong. I don't want excuses. His voice was arctic. Apologize to my wife now. Otherwise... His razor-sharp gaze swept the room, a thin smile curving his mouth. Sterling Global and every affiliated company will pull every dollar out of Riverdale Private Bank this instant. The weight of that sentence dropped like a guillotine, silencing the hall. In the King's Haven business world, nobody trifled with the sterling giant. Under the guests' scornful stares, Ma and the busboy finally realized the size of the catastrophe they'd provoked. Their faces ashen, they bowed 90 degrees. "Mr. Sterling, Mrs. Sterling, we were blind fools. We beg your forgiveness. I'll apply at once to raise the sterling's deposit rate by 50 basis points as compensation. Would that be acceptable?" The busboy who had been so arrogant now stooped, eyes pleading, all hubris gone. I regarded them coolly, voice steady. Save those words for the officers. Had the woman standing here been an ordinary person instead of Mrs. Sterling, she'd already be in a holding cell. Sirens wailed nearer and nearer. The busboy dropped to his knees and jabbed a finger at Serena. "She ordered it. She said Mrs. Sterling stole something." Serena's complexion shifted from pale to livid. "Watch your mouth. I've been with Adrian the whole time. I had no time to waste on a waiter." "Then pull the surveillance," the busboy screamed. Serena clutched her skirt, fighting to stay composed. "I'm a licensed attorney. Can you afford to slander me?" The busboy choked on his words. Seeing the officers stride in, he kowtowed frantically toward Mason. "Mr. Sterling, believe me, it was her. She tried to frame Mrs. Sterling. I can testify." Adrian stepped forward, gaze complex as he looked at me. "Serena did speak with him. The exact content. I don't know." Serena spun around, glaring at Adrian in disbelief. "Adrian, you're taking her side?" Adrian met her stare, voice flat. "Serena, cooperate with the investigation. If you're innocent, the police will clear you." Serena's lips twisted into a warped smile. "Adrian, I'm your fiancé. Aren't you supposed to trust me unconditionally?" Adrian opened his mouth, then gave a bitter laugh. 5 years ago you told me Lila was with me for the Vance family money, and I believed you. Only now do I see how mistaken I was. I didn't trust what I saw. I swallowed your lies. Was I wrong?" Serena demanded, eyes red. "If she wasn't after the Vance fortune, why would she stay with you? She never accepted any expensive gift from me, never took a single Venmo transfer," Adrian answered, voice firm. Serena sneered. "Anyone can play hard to get. She just wanted to be Mrs. Vance so she could spend openly." "Serena!" Adrian swung, landing a crisp slap that left his palm trembling. "Still slandering Lila? Do you have any idea what I lost? I searched for her for 5 full years. If not for you, Lila and I would already be married with kids." Serena cupped her cheek, tears spilling. "Adrian, you courted me for 6 years, proposed 99 times. From classmates to lovers, we're about to be married, and now you say you want children with her?" Adrian lowered his hand, defeated. "Serena, I love Lila. These 5 years, she's the only one in my heart." While they argued, Mason finished talking with the officers. As the cuffs were about to close around Serena's wrists, Adrian suddenly rushed forward. "What message did you send Lila back then?" Serena stayed silent for several seconds, then smiled mysteriously. "Guess." Adrian froze, helpless, as he watched her being guided into the patrol car. He turned toward me, but Mason blocked his path. "Adrian, disappear while I'm still willing to speak politely." Adrian ignored him, obstinately continuing toward me. "Lila, all these years were a misunderstanding. I've always loved you. If I'd really wanted to marry Serena, why would I have kept delaying?" I had no patience for his justifications, especially when I caught Mason rolling down his cuff, his telltale sign of impending fury. "Enough!" I cut him off sharply. "I'm married with a child. Don't you find this ridiculous?" Adrian grew frantic. "No, it's not too late. I'm not married, you can get a DIV. Before he could finish, Mason's fist smashed into his face. Blood trickled from the corner of Adrian's mouth, yet he kept his eyes on Mason without fighting back. "Divorce? You dare suggest my wife divorce me right in front of me?" Mason's voice was glacial. He grabbed Adrian by the collar. "How about you kill me first? Once you're a widower, we'll talk." Mason was a 10th-degree black belt in Taekwondo. 5 years ago, he'd single-handedly pulled me out of a ring of thugs and hadn't let a single hair on my head get touched. Adrian had always been the refined, gentle type. How could he possibly stand a chance? I quickly wrapped my fingers around Mason's corded wrist. "Mason, let it go. Chloe's waiting for us. Wifey, behave." He squeezed my palm, but the look in his eyes was still razor-sharp. "Someone just tried to steal my wife, right in front of me. If I let it slide, I might as well change my name to Coward." I could only step back. If I didn't let him vent tonight, he'd spend the next 2 weeks dreaming up creative ways for me to prove I love him. This all-powerful Sterling heir who could close billion-dollar deals at breakfast somehow turned into a clingy, insecure teenager when it came to romance. When Adrian saw how openly affectionate we were, the veins at his temples throbbed. He rushed forward without a word. He didn't even graze the hem of Mason's jacket before a brutal sidekick slammed him to the ground, curling him up in pain. "That all you've got?" Mason looked down at him with contempt. "Even in your next life, don't think about laying a finger on my wife." Adrian raised his head, eyes flooded with pain. "Lila." Mason scooped me up into his arms, hot breath brushing my ear. Tonight's punishment just doubled. We skipped the gala and took the private jet straight back to King's Haven. The moment the plane touched down, the police update arrived. Serena and the busboy had been sentenced to a 15-day hold for false accusations. Yet Mason kept his brows knit the whole flight. Even stacking blocks with Chloe couldn't distract him. Suddenly he set the blocks aside. "Wifey, Serena's face bothers me, it's familiar." I shrugged. "She's a lawyer influencer with 1 million followers. You've probably seen her feed. Online pictures are airbrushed." His gaze sharpened. "I mean in person. The night I rescued you 5 years ago. I think she was standing at the mouth of that alley." Mason quietly put a team on Serena's life. When the report landed in front of us, I shot up my spine and I couldn't stop shaking. After Adrian and I had broken up, the thugs who tried to assault me in the alley had been orchestrated by Serena. I'd always believed it was random bad luck. Once the men were jailed, I'd never thought to dig deeper. I never imagined Serena would ruin me so completely just to claim Adrian. Mason pressed me to his chest, voice gentle and steady. "It's over, wifey. I'm here." His calm strength shattered the last of my control. I sobbed against his shoulder. In those darkest days, I'd huddled in a corner day and night, refusing food and water, blank with despair. Mason never left my side, pulling me through every sleepless night. Adrian once claimed I was his salvation, but Mason was the true light in my life. "Mason, thank you for staying with me all this time." "Cameron, back then I was a scholarship kid juggling part-time jobs while he was the prince of our class." He said that at some point my thin silhouette had started to hurt his heart. Only when we met again in that dark alley did he realize that ache was love that wanted to protect me for life. "Mommy." Chloe pattered over and latched onto my leg. "Cuddle for baby too." Mason lifted the little koala with an exaggerated sigh. "Spoil sport, can't mommy and daddy have 5 minutes?" We handed every piece of evidence to the police. Serena faced the full weight of the law. Then an anonymous whistleblower revealed her bar license was forged. Her streaming accounts were permanently erased. The internet exploded, and her glossy reputation collapsed overnight. I thought the dust had finally settled. I slipped back into normal life. One dusk, as I stepped out of the Sterling Tower, Adrian was waiting at the foot of the stairs. Around his neck still hung the guardian locket I'd believed he'd thrown away. His eyes were bloodshot, voice trembling. "Lila, I kept it. I could never toss it out." When I stayed silent, he forced a smile. "Forgive me. Can't we start over?" I walked straight past him without pausing. "Lila," he shouted after me, choking on tears. "I can't live without you. We loved each other so much." Tears splashed onto the locket as he frantically wiped them. Suddenly the boy who used to curse himself in the mirror again. Only this time we both knew. Some separations last a lifetime. I exhaled softly. "Adrian, throw the locket away. I've regretted giving it to you for years." He shook his head, lips moving soundlessly while tears streamed. "The girl who loved you died in that alley 5 years ago. Every time I see you, I hear those thugs' sick laughter. You have a child who must be for now, right? Serena's in jail. That child needs a father. Don't waste any more time on a ghost." Adrian's pupils contracted. He stumbled back, almost falling. "What thugs? What child?" I offered no answer and climbed into the car Mason had sent. Hadn't he always wanted to know what Serena's video really showed? It was a short clip, Serena laughing that she was pregnant, Adrian spinning her in delight. "I'm going to be a dad." By the calendar, that child would indeed be a little over 4. After that day, I never saw Adrian again. Soon after, news of Vance Tech's bankruptcy slid into the trending tab. Investors had pulled out one by one since the gala, and the company's cash flow snapped overnight. Along with the bankruptcy notice came another story. The CEO had vanished. A witness claimed to have seen him drunkenly driving toward the mountains before disappearing completely. A week later, an unsigned letter reached me. I recognized the handwriting at once, Adrian's. "Lila, if you're reading this, I'm probably gone. Our story ends only like this. Don't feel guilt or sorrow. Once you saved me. I was the one who lost you. Serena and I never had a child." The clip was a staged short she posted, and I played along. I finished the letter, folded the paper into a plane, and watched the wind carry it farther and farther. Adrian, love and hate have both scattered with the wind. I hope in your next life you'll hold on tight to the light that belongs to you. Thanks for listening to the story. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it? If you enjoyed the video, please hit like and share with friends. We'd love to read your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories. See you next time.